Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and tonight I'm proud to bring you Nick Curto and the Urantia Book. Greetings, Nick.
Oh, thank you, Hercules. Great to be here with you and with my guest tonight. This is, as you know, right after Christmas. Is a very special program.
I'll be here in case you need me. I look forward to your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And again, this is the Urantia Book with Nick Curto. I'm your host, Nick Curto, and tonight I have a wonderful guest. She's been on my program a few times, and we've already gone into her extensive background, so we won't do that now because we don't want to take up the time with the program she's got for tonight. She is a longtime reader of the Urantia Book. She is a very active member of the Urantia Book community and a beloved friend of mine. Diane Labrecque, welcome.
Hello, Nick. Hello once again, I should say. So you've had a good celebration so far?
Oh, absolutely. I made dinner. We had a very low-key, restful Christmas. And of course, now in New York, we've had our first winter snowstorm. In Manhattan, where I am, it's about
Yes.
maybe 3 or 4 inches of snow. I wanted to ask you, in Canada, where you're located, I bet there's a lot of snow on the ground, is there?
3 or 4 is like just a little taste.
Oh,
It reminds me one time I was doing a show in Monaco in Europe, and after the show, we packed up to leave and go to another part of France in Champagne. And as we passed, everything was closed: schools, stores, businesses, governments, everything. And I asked, what is this? Why is it's almost like the city is a phantom? Well, Diane, don't you see the snow? I said, well, I barely see snow, maybe 1 or 2 inches. They had no system to clean the streets and all that. So they had about this much of snow and the whole city was closed. I cracked up because my brother was telling me the other day we were talking when it was my birthday a few days ago, and
oh,
he
belated
called.
happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Nick. And he called me and we were talking together. And I said, he lives in Quebec City. I'm in Montreal.
Montreal.
And yes, and there's about just 150 miles, just to tell you, 150 miles difference. And I said, so Danielle, how is it going with the snow? He said, well, it's pretty much, you know. He reminded me, he recalled having so much snow that he said I would stand in the street and I wouldn't see either houses on the right or on the left.
Whoa, that's,
Wow.
oh boy.
Yes, it is a lot of snow. He said, I was there on the street and it was like there was no houses. That's how much snow. He said on the roof of his house, he was standing on the roof of his house and the snow on the roof was taller than him. And he's not short.
Oh, that is incredible.
He said
All
the
this,
snow, he said the snow came to the front of their house. And you know, usually you have like a path that you walk to the door. The whole snow bank was so much that it came to the roof of the house and they had to shovel a tunnel to go out.
it doesn't get wilder than that. Oh my goodness. My sister who lives in Massachusetts told me that a couple of years ago they couldn't open their front door or their back door. They
Yes.
literally couldn't. I can imagine it's at least that plus a lot more where what you're talking about. So, well,
I
that's
said,
incredible.
I said to my brother, you know what, Dan? I just pray because I come from a large family of 12. And
Wow.
I said, you know, Dan, I just pray one thing to God that no one gets sick or ill or dies because I don't want to have to go to Quebec. Not with that kind of snow. Let's
Oh,
wait
that's
for spring.
incredible. I can imagine with a family of 12, that must have been quite a Christmas. All the Christmases with that many people in the house. Oh my goodness,
It was
that's
just
wonderful.
the beginning. besides the uncles and aunts and cousins and neighbors and all this. So the house was always like open house, you know, but it was, I loved it. We celebrated a lot, and these are beautiful memories because now both my mom and dad are somewhere else in heaven. And so I thank God to have known this because many children now do not experience that. And you should have seen the house when it was Christmas Eve with
Hmm.
the tree would go to the ceiling of the roof of the room. My father had bought a big house, and it was like gift galore, and we were like so joyful, and music, and one of my uncle was making movies, and so he would say, okay, who wants to see the latest movie? Yeah, we all went into the living room, so it was fun, it was nice.
Absolutely. My family, my father came from 7 brothers and sisters, and so did my mother. So the uncles and aunts I have, and of course the cousins and nephews, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and
Yes.
I love every minute of that. I love my family so much, and I want to tell you one quick thing. It just came to mind is that when I was a small child, we have a cardboard fireplace which we kept in the attic when I was a kid. And when it was Christmas time, we'd bring it down and put it in the living room beside the Christmas tree, but it was right in front of a window. And I asked my father, Dad, how is Santa going to come into the chimney this year? Because it's in front of the window and there's no chimney. And he thought for a second, and then he said, Nick, Santa is magic. He can do anything. What a great answer. It kind of
Great.
saved everything
He
with
didn't
the
want to
thing.
burst your balloon.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Diane, I'm anxious to hear your program tonight and what you want to focus on. So please let us know what we're going to be dealing with tonight in relationship to our beloved Urantia book.
Yes, and I would say it's mostly I feel inspired, Nick, to talk about our beloved Jesus, because
Oh,
just a couple of days we had Christmas, and that is very important, you know, because I spell it Christmas with two S, so that it is the Mass of Christ believers,
oh,
because there are Christ believers all over the world. I think I told you I live here in the downtown Montreal on the plaza. It's a very busy street and shopping and all this and all kinds of stores with all kinds of ethnicities, people from different countries, from Africa, from Europe, from the States, from different places. And even though they may not be of Christian belief or religion, it doesn't matter. We all look at each other, Merry Christmas, have happy holiday and all this, you know. It's to me, it's the spirit of brotherhood. It's that brother, that love of one another, you know, as brothers and sisters. Were you going to say something?
no, no, I just totally agree with you.
Yes,
Absolutely. And it draws us closer together as a family, which we are. Our
yes.
planet, we are brothers and sisters, every nation. Uh,
And especially with what we are living right now, I don't know about you, Nick, but for me, I follow what's going on around the planet, not just America, but around the planet. And at times it tends to be tense, you know, like there's a lot happening. It's like this, up and down, you know, very tense. And what I felt inspired to talk about tonight is to remind everyone, to remind us, ourselves, of that famous HD mode that I spoke to you sometime before, to
yes.
live in our HD mode, which means our human and divine mode. And it is so important that it becomes an automatic reaction in us to not only stay grounded in our human mode, because we know that the human mode sometimes it's like, hey, you want to come on, you know, and you want a match, you know, it's like a battle. But when we go into that HD mode, it is so different. And Jesus is, was, and forever will be our HD mode master. He was the initiator of this. And I was thinking about that, Nick. And if we think of the time, that's the way the Urantia book, the revelation of the Urantia book, tells us exactly the history of our planet with the time frame and when every phase happened. And we know that I personally believe in Trinity. Oh, I'm touching my cross. This is my 3 concentric cross.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is so nice. I bought this at the jewelry actually on the plaza, and it's beautiful. When I saw it, 3 concentric circles, gold. Oh my God, you know. So,
Absolutely.
yes. And so when we look at it, I always tend to think now in terms of Trinity. And when we know that first, when mankind changed from being just a bunch of animals, if I can use that expression, behaving like a bunch of animals, and standing up and taking a new position, it became like the first major recognition on the planet to be called Homo erectus. So it's like we stood up straight on our 2 legs and we started to behave differently than a bunch of animals, just, fighting at one another. And so that was the first phase, way before. Then the second phase came, and that was Homo sapien. Sapiens is related to the mind. So, how to think properly, not only stand up as human beings that we are now, but Homo sapiens, which gave birth to the scientific mind, discovery, thinking, the whole process. And so it's great. And I still believe to this day that when Jesus came and bestowed himself here on our planet called Urantia in the revelation of the Urantia book, I believe that Jesus initiated what I would strongly believe will become known as Homo Deus. Because you look at Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, physical, Homo sapiens, mind, and then Homo Deus, spirit. And that is to join the 2 together, just constantly work like this. And that's what Jesus taught us to live like that, not just once in a while. A lot of Christian people have learned to go to church on Sunday. I know someone, I won't name the person, but I know someone who said, well, Diane, I know how much you love Jesus and God and spirituality, but that is a thing of Sundays. It's a day 7. The other 6 days, you don't think about it, And I'm going like, hello, okay, all right. So it's time to move on to a new dimension, which is to be spiritual, to have a spiritual behavior every day of the week, every week of the year, every month, all the time. And especially now where there can tend to be some friction at times, and countries and people and rules and the regulations and all this, we still need to use Jesus as our role model. And I have a few quotes that I would love to have read to you, just because they are so fit for this. And with your beautiful shirt, by the way, I love your shirt. It's very
Thank you.
silky, very beautiful, very appropriate. Actually, we're both dressed with red,
I noticed.
Yes, but I think it would be appropriate, and it's nice because now with time, in 2008, when I gave a speech at UCLA in California, and I spoke about the HD mode, I do remember it was a brand new thing, the HD equipment coming out, television screens, computer screens, equipment, the high definition mode. But it just occurred to me, what about living in our highest definition mode? That's our HD mode. If machines have their HD mode, which is fantastic, what about us humans? Our highest definition mode. But it's a switch. It's a switch that we must turn on with our own will, free will. It's not something that can be pushed on people. It's a choice, a decision that has to come from every human being to say, yep, I want to turn my switch on. Personally, for me, I can tell you a little secret. I went and bought some big sticky tape, and I just put a tape on my switch so it stays on all the time. So it doesn't close, you know?
Okay.
Because when you come in a house and it's dark, what is the first thing you do? You turn the switch on, and then the lights go on. And so sometimes when we are in the darkness, that's when we make mistakes. But when things are in the light of truth, then it's like, oh, it's so easy, it's so beautiful. And more, I realize that it's so pleasurable for me to be able to prevent a fight, an argument with people, especially in a period like now. We
Oh,
just
yeah.
passed Christmas, and then New Year is coming up the same way, and then Valentine's Day, and Easter will come and all that. So to be able to work together and say, hello, your color, your race, your age, your country doesn't mean anything. It's actually colorful. That's the beauty of life, to have color and differences everywhere around the planet. But we are all of the same creator. Everyone is a creature that originates from a creator. And our creator, your creator, Nick, Hercules, mine, African people, Russian, Chinese, we all have our same creator. We call him God, but when we die, maybe the name is not necessarily God, but it is the creator, capital C and minor c, the creator and all of his creatures. And so it is very, very important to pray, to be uniting more and more and more and more toward that new mode that Jesus started 2,000 years ago. To me, Jesus officially inaugurated the Homo Deus mode. And can I read you a couple of quotes just so to be in the mood?
We would love that. Absolutely love that. And by the way, just well said. What you just said, beautifully said and realized. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, Nick. I love being on your podcast. It's wonderful, especially now that it's video. It's so alive. Okay, I just want to read this one first. Okay,
But
in paper one, section 6, paragraph 3, and it says, never lose sight of the antipodal viewpoints of personality as it is conceived by God and man. Man views and comprehends personality looking from the finite to the infinite. God looks from the infinite to the finite. Man possesses the lowest type of personality, God the highest, even supreme, ultimate, and absolute. Therefore, did the better concepts of the divine personality have patiently to await the appearance of improved ideas of human personality, especially the enhanced revelation of both human and divine personality in the Urantian bestowal life of Michael, the creator son, called Jesus Christ. And so I think it is so beautiful, because it describes it so well to see that he came as a human. To me, it's like going full circle. When you go full circle, Jesus came and he showed God to man to help bring man to God. Click.
mm-hmm.
Close the loop, so we go full circle. It's so important. And
It
so
is.
he's our model. And there's another one that's very interesting in paper 71, 415. And this progress in the arts of civilization leads directly to the realization of the highest human and divine goals of mortal endeavor. So they cannot be more clear than that. What is the realization of the highest? They don't say the high or one of the best or whatever. The highest human and divine, HD, goals of mortal endeavor, which is the social achievement of the brotherhood of man and the personal status of God consciousness, which becomes revealed in the supreme desire of every individual, not a majority, every individual to do the will of the Father in heaven. And that brings me to saying, Nick, that what is most important for the world to know is that Jesus does not belong only to Christianity or Christians. No, Christianity didn't even exist at the time of Jesus. It came to be later on, okay, with all of his teachings spreading around the planet. But Jesus belongs to the world. So there's no definition. There are all the different religions, and then there is the religion of Jesus, who came to reveal the Father to man and bring man to the Father, God. And so it's very important to know that whether you're Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Jewish, Taoist, any religion, those are, to me, I call them institutional religion. You know, they're man-made, if I can use the expression. They're man-made religion. But there is a religion that does not need books. It's here. It's in the heart and in the mind. We know that there is a Spirit of God in each and every one of us, in you. I'm looking at you, Nick, and I see that in your mind you have a beautiful fragment of God, the same God I have in my mind. This is the inspiration that we have. Hercules is the same, all of us. And so that is what unites us, and that we have to rise above man-made religions to the true religion of the Spirit. And that is the direct link, God to man, man to God, creator to creature, creature to creator. That's it. No intermediaries and no. I remember when because I was born here in Quebec. So, I mean, what did we have? Christians, you know? And so I was going to church, but I loved it. It was beautiful teaching as a young child. But I remember that at the time, we tended to look at the priest like he was the intermediary between God and us, and we had to ask permission or his approval or whatever. No, today, humanity has grown up. Just like a child matures, there was a time when it was all right, but there's a time when it's time to put your little baby shoes aside and your little toys aside and go into your real car, and not your little, look, mommy, I'm using my truck, you know. And so now we have to grow and realize that we are mature beings. We can think of ourselves by ourselves. We can have free will to make our own choice. And we have to decide of our own free will that humanity will desire love above war, truth above lies, goodness instead of meanness. All those divine qualities that will make this planet an absolute joy. I call it Team Jesus worldwide, because when we think of Jesus, what do we think? Jesus equals the Spirit of truth. And when we know that they tell us, it's love, light, and life. Love is God the Father. And how does he express love? Through goodness. And then light, love, light. How does light, how do we define light? Very often we will say the light of truth. When you hear someone saying, oh, now it's clear, it's light. Now I see, okay, I understand now, I see the truth. So the light of truth, and then the life of beauty, And that life of beauty that we all dream to have, it's not going to fall from heaven. It's going to be us that will join hands together and decide to work together. And that to me will be living in our HD mode, our highest definition mode. And I personally believe it would be wonderful when I'm in heaven and I hear that on Urantia, now it's called Homo Deus. Yeah. So Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, body, mind, and then spirit, Homo Deus. And so that's what in 2008 I was talking about. And over the years, I've been testing it and using it, gently around with people. And everybody loves it and says, hey, it makes sense. I love that. Yeah, my HD mode, I'll turn my switch on so that we do not live only in our physical, mortal, almost sometimes the beast, like sometimes you can be rough and tough. But when we rise above and we say, okay, God, silently, God, what is your will? What is your always will? Ask and you shall receive. It happened to me again today. It was so beautiful. Last night I went to bed and I was very concerned about something. And instead of crying out to people and all this, I went to bed and I prayed and I prayed. And I woke up during the night because I was very concerned. What do I need to do? And I prayed again. I got up and I did my day as usual. And lo and behold, this afternoon, as smooth as a beautiful wind like that, the answer came. And it was his answer. It was so beautiful. It was so good. It was so true and so real. I said, oh, thank you, God. This is so beautiful. Thank you, Jesus. And the answer came. But like he said, if you don't ask, don't be surprised that you don't receive, but ask first, and I'll tell you, with your sincerity, you will receive. I heard your prayer. Go ahead.
Diane, what you're saying here is so important and never more important than right now. As you know, the world is a very turbulent place. In my
Yes,
lifetime, I can't remember a more turbulent time, a more critical time than right now.
yes,
2025, December 20, what is it,
27.
27? And we are always uh, just in the shadow of major turbulence, of major destruction. And this goes worldwide. And we really have to get a grip on this. Um, there is I feel as though the time has come that we really have to clear the deck of any ill feelings, of any guilt, of any. We have to put that aside. We have to unite as a family on this
Yes,
planet, and we have to realize that we are brothers and sisters, and we have a responsibility to each other to be
yes.
loving and to be protective of ourselves and of our planet on every level you can think of. So what you're saying is critical and never more important than right now.
I received a beautiful inspiration. I pray a lot, especially in the last 5 years since COVID. I've been doing intercessory prayer every day. It's quite something, and it transforms a person, I can tell you. And a beautiful inspiration I received, Nick, is that the earth is literally going through a huge change that will be known to be historical and biblical, because there's divine intervention. It's not just human intervention, it's divine intervention. And what we are witnessing, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, is that it is the end of a time, not the end of the world, the end of a world and the birth of a new world. And the two are crisscrossing. So we are, for those who have eyes to see, there are a lot of beautiful, absolutely full of beauty events, things happening, what you were describing, people uniting together and all this. So it's not only turbulence, It's both. It's the end of a world, the death of a world, the death of a time. The Indians would say it's the Kali Yuga and, different names. But all this to say the fact is a phenomenon. The two are crisscrossing. So the end of a world, the birth of a new world, and what is coming up is going to be absolutely fantastic. It will bring us toward the age of light and life, that direction that humanity must go toward. And the time has come. It is.
And another thing about what you're saying is that the Urantia book, which came to us fairly recently, it was published in 1955, and there's a reason why it's here now. Not 100 years ago, not 200 years ago. Right now in our lifetimes, it's here.
Yes.
And it's here
Yes.
for a very specific reason. It has to be here now. The time has come.
It has a purpose.
Yeah.
The purpose is now. And God, knowing all, seeing all, and controlling all, knew about this. And so he made sure that, and when you read, actually, you know what, you make me think, Nick, when we know that that beautiful thick book called The Revelation of the Urantia Book is divided in 4 parts, plus the intro. And part 4 is 777 pages of the life and teachings of Jesus, a thing never done before, never revealed. To me, it's the complementary information that the Bible started with the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
But if the New Testament has this information about Jesus, the Urantia book is like the screen is not big enough to show it, and it is so beautiful to actually read the life and teachings of Jesus. Anyone and everyone who reads his life and teachings with an open heart and an open mind literally cannot become in love with Jesus. You come to be so much in love with him, such a human being like you, Nick, like me, well, more like you because he was a man, but I mean to say so human and yet so divine. It is absolutely, it makes you become in love with Jesus, and that's what the world needs. Not to just know, I would dare to say that probably most of the planet, and we are 8.5 billion, 8.25 billion, know the name Jesus. Would you agree? That most people know, but that's not enough to know. That's just the very tick, 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 the little beginning to know of Jesus. Oh yeah, right, I know, I heard that. I think Christianity, Catholics and all this, they use the name Jesus, but they don't know more. Step 2, phase 2, to know about Jesus, whether it is from reading the Bible, the New Testament, which gives us a fairly good story about Jesus, or part 4 of the Urantia Revelation, which is the biggest love story. I tell people if I would be a mother again, that would be my bedtime story. Every night I would be, come on, darling, come with mommy in bed. We're going to read about that beautiful life of Jesus. Okay, that is only phase 2. But there is the third one, the Trinity. I don't know. Okay, all right. I need to align myself. The third one is what? To come to be in love with Jesus. When you are in love with someone, it's a whole different ballgame. To know about someone, to have heard about, I don't know, someone very well known in the arts, it's one thing. To meet them or whatever, go see their movie or whatever, it's another thing. But to be part of their life, to love them, it transforms you.
Absolutely
And so
does.
that's, I'm sorry?
It absolutely does. I mean, what you're saying is right on the money.
Yes,
Absolutely right.
you need to be in love with him.
I went to Robin and Helene Jorgensen. They're very dear friends of mine, and they have a study group every Tuesday night. I went there for, it must have been a good 25 or more years. Every Tuesday night that I was in Manhattan, I would go to that incredible study group. And you were in the right place with the right people. They are amazing. They knew everything about the Urantia book. I learned so much. And I remember we were reading part 4, which, by the way, Diane, is my favorite part of, they're all wonderful, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. But part 4, the life and teachings of Jesus, is beyond. I mean, it's incredible.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Robin at one point just said, as an aside, he said, Jesus is my hero.
Yes.
And he said that from his heart. And it just resonated that he is the one. He is the inspiration.
Yes.
He's the
Yes.
one that we need to not understand him and follow him, because it is endless, endless love that he
Yes. Yes.
absolutely spreads. And every
Yes.
word of every action in the Urantia book of his total life. And one other thing I just wanted to add to what you said is that I explained that when I grew up, I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to my father's Italian church in Springfield, Massachusetts, where I grew up. And but they were talking about Jesus, and the priest at some point said, um, God-fearing Christians. And
Mm.
I heard that, and it really was, wait a moment, wait a moment. I don't fear. I don't
Right.
fear God. I love God with my whole heart and soul. And so when I
Yes.
hear anyone saying God-fearing Christians, I know it's meant to be a good thing, but the word fear doesn't apply to Jesus. It just
Yes.
doesn't. I just wanted to add
Yes.
that.
Sure. And you know what? You make me think, Nick, that all the different people around the planet, whether it's children, middle-aged people, elderly people, who were blessed to have either a visitation of Jesus, a real, I'm not talking about being on drugs and hallucinating. No, no, no. I'm talking about true. Some people have seen Jesus, or Jesus appeared to them, or they had visitation of Jesus, and you cannot but be absolutely in love with him for eternity. He just emanates pure divine love, even a love that we cannot even define, because we define love with our little human, and I'm not belittling us. I'm just saying we are at the bottom rung of ascension, we're at the bottom of the ladder. So there's way higher beings than us. But it's beyond a love that is beyond definition, when it reaches a point that there's no word for it. It's like sometimes you will see a couple that have been together for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, like my grandparents, and they just love each other so much that they will look at each other, and just looking, you don't need to say it anymore. You love them, you love him, you love her. And that love has no words. It has to come from the heart. It is no more intellectual. It's way beyond that. And that's what Jesus is all about. He is God incarna, which means incarnated. God who came in skin and bones, just like you and me. Can you imagine? It's like, wow. And yet it is a reality, and it is not a thing, a reality that belongs only to Christians or Catholics or whatever. No, 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 no. Belongs to humanity and beyond, the whole universe. And so it is beautiful. Let me read another quote. Is that all right?
Please do. Please, oh, absolutely, please do.
Yeah, they're nice and sweet. Okay, so here it says there's something real, something of human evolution, something additional to the mystery monitor, the fragment of God that is in each and every one of us, which survives death. This newly appearing entity is the soul, and it survives the death of both your physical body and your material mind. This entity is the conjoined child of the combined life and efforts. We have to make efforts of the human you in liaison with the divine you. The human and the divine are HD mode, the adjuster. This child of human and divine parentage constitutes the surviving element of terrestrial origin. It is the Morantia self, in other words, the immortal soul. And so when we talk about the soul and how important it is to have a soul so that when the body stays on earth, when we trespass, when we leave this planet, the body stays on earth, but the soul rises, survives. And again, Jesus was a model. When he was crucified and then resurrected, he survived. In French, it's nice because the word describes it perfectly well. Sur means over and vive, to live. To live over. You live over your human terrestrial life to your spiritual life. And that is so beautiful, you know. So it is very important in our lifetime to develop our soul. And God is the parent, the father creator, and we, the creature, are the mother. It's almost like the parents, the two of us, our free will, all the choices we make. With him, we create and we weave our tapestry called our soul, so that when we die or when we trespass or whatever expression humans can use, when we move on, let's say when we move on and survive, it is our soul that survives. And it is very, very, very important to know that so that
I
people.
love it when the rancher community, when someone, as you said, passes on. I love it when I heard a lot of people say they graduated.
Yes,
And I went, what a great word to use, graduated, to move forward, to move to the next level. And I
yes,
love that. And instead of wearing dark clothes and being crying and all that, to celebrate the
yes,
life of a person who has graduated, to me is exactly the right way to do it. To celebrate to the love and the being that they shared with us, and they have now graduated, they've moved to the next level. And I just got a kick out of that when I first heard that. The Urantia Book community was referring to that as graduation. I love that.
and
That's
it's a great visual because when you graduate, you know that you go up, you don't go down. You go further, you advance. So we advance when we graduate. And so it automatically it is a positive word meaning in our mind. It's not depressing, it's optimistic, it's encouraging. You know, like, oh yeah, graduated. Wow, high five. So we'll be, it's
yeah.
nice.
I want to
Okay.
take just a moment here to just say that the people that are viewing our program, well, first of all, thank you for doing that. And I want to just give you a website where you can read the entire Urantia book. You also can listen to it because it's been recorded, not only in English, but in several other world languages. This is an incredible accomplishment that the Urantia book community has done. And I'm going to give you a website. I'm going to give it to you slowly so you can write it down. And I'm suggesting that at some point, take a look at that website because it has not only the entire Urantia book for you to read, but you can listen to it. And a lot of people listen to the chapters one by one. So here we go. The website is www.urantiabook.org. I'm going to do that one more time. www.urantiabook.org. It's an incredibly beautiful website. It's got so much material in there, and I think that it will be a website that you'll be visiting many times. Diane, I want to ask you if our people who are looking at the program, how if they had a question or comment, how can they contact you if there's a way to do that?
The best way, easiest way is to contact me via email. And it's very simple. It's my name, Diane, D-I-A-N-E, just one N, D-I-A-N-E, and then my family name all together, Labrecque, L-A-B as beauty, R as Robert, E-C as Charles, Q-U-E, like Quebec, Diane Labrecque, number 7 at gmail.com.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And
Very
I'm
simple.
going to also give my email too. If anybody has a comment or question, please, I'd be honored if you would email me with that. And my email, my direct email is NICKNYNY1, and that's the numeral 1 at gmail.com. Nick, NYNY1 at gmail.com. Okay, Diane, I just wanted to make sure that I got that into the program.
Yes,
This 1 hour goes so quickly. I just
I
wanted to make sure
know.
that we got all that in. So, okay, now did you want to do another quote or just comment,
Yes,
whatever?
yes, because I want to, we're close to soon. It's unbelievable how fast it goes, but it just shows how pleasant it is. It's like a beautiful conversation filled with love. Okay,
Absolutely.
so it says here, Jesus in paper 145-2, it says, it tells us, Jesus loves mankind with a dual affection. He lived on earth, Jesus lived on earth as a twofold personality, human and divine. He is our model. As the Son of God, he loves man with a fatherly love. He is man's creator, capital C, his universe father. And as the Son of Man, Jesus loves mortals as a brother. He was truly a man among men. Isn't that great to know that Jesus is, in that sense, our brother, a big brother? It's like there's an organization called the Big Brothers where Jesus is the big brother of the big brothers, you know? So he understands us so much. He's been there, done it, lived it. And so he can say, I know sometimes it's rough and tough. Just ask me and you will receive. I'm just waiting for your prayer and have faith. But not, how should I say, Nick? Not, there's a difference between having faith, what I call static faith. You know, just like, yeah, I believe. Okay. You want to go to the restaurant? Okay. Yeah, I told you I believe. Okay. That I call to be flat faith. It's just like it's not down, it's not up, but living faith, when you can say, I believe, I know that by myself it looks impossible and I believe it would be impossible, but I know that with God, all things, when Jesus said with God, all things are possible, he meant all, like ALL, not most of it, the majority, depending how he feels on that day or whatever. No, it's with God, all things are possible, you know? And so when we have that kind of living faith, vibrant faith, we're just like a little baby, a little child. You know, when I think of my son this afternoon, I was thinking of my son Jonathan, and when they're little like that, they have so much faith in mommy and daddy. It's like their world revolves around mom and dad. And they have so much faith. They know that daddy's going to protect me. Mommy's going to feed me. I'm going to be all right and I don't have to pay rent, you know? And so they're full of faith, you know? We have to have that kind of blind faith to really believe. And if we do, like Jesus said, when with all the trips I organized to the Holy Land of Jesus, I showed the readers an actual proof of what a mustard seed is, Nick. And I went to the garden where Jesus went, one of the garden on the Mount of Olives. And the gardener brought me to the tree and said, look, this is mustard seed. Nick, if you put it in your hand, it looks like if I take it looks just like if I take, let's say, a pen and I just go click and I just make one little dot. That's a mustard seed. And what did Jesus say? If you only had the faith of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. That's a lot of faith. And that's just a little mustard seed. He's not asking us to have the faith of a rock of Gibraltar. No, a mustard seed. You would be able to move mountains. So this is what mankind is starting to discover, our true nature, our true potential. We are so much more than just a bunch of animals standing on two legs. We are so much more than just a bunch of standing up with a brain to think and figure out things on their own. But we are also of divine nature. We're not God, but we are sons and daughters of God. And if our Father, our spirit Father is God, holy moly, life is beautiful. And I know whatever I speak because it is like this now. And like Jesus said, I will give you my peace, that peace beyond all understanding. And so it is wonderful.
I'm seeing that my producer, Hercules, is saying that we are, believe it or not, coming to the end of our program. This goes quickly, Diane, so quickly. I want to thank you so much. I want to invite you back again, of course, because you radiate such warmth and love and conviction. And I just love that of you. And you're one of my favorite people. And Diane, such a pleasure to have an interview with you. And I'm going to have you back for the new year at some point during the new year. Absolutely. So my love and my
Is it
thanks for
over, Hercules?
we're winding it up. We are now
Yeah.
winding. I know
Yeah,
it goes so
down the
quickly.
last 10
It
minutes
does.
we have,
Oh, we
It
have
does.
10 minutes, Nick.
or 7 minutes actually now.
Yeah, it does. I heard something. I just want to bring this into the program just very
Thank you.
quickly. Someone said, if you've been to a birthday party and everybody gives each other presents, but they don't give the person who's having a birthday a present, what's wrong with that picture? Well, everything is wrong with that picture. And what can we give the birthday of Jesus? We can give him our love. We can give him our devotion. We can speak to Jesus. We can talk to him and ask him for his guidance. And that dialogue is very, very important, as I'm sure you will agree. So I
Absolutely.
just love that little story about think in terms of a birthday party and the fact that you can communicate with the person who is being honored as his birthday. So
And
Hercules, are we up to about 1 more minute?
You could do as much as 6.
Okay, Diane,
six
do you have
minutes.
something very quick you could add to this before we go?
Yes, I just wanted, you make me think as you were speaking, Nick, when Jesus said, beyond all that he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So not only did he speak to say he is the way, but he also showed it because look, he was born and baptized as Yeshua, but he became known as Jesus. And when we spell Jesus, Jesus, the way. So does that make you think, Nick? Does that bring you to Jerusalem, Edentia, Salvington, Uversa, the Supreme? Jesus, he is the way. So it's all coded. It's so beautiful when you discover that. You say, oh my God, he was there saying it all along. But for those who had ears to hear, you know, and I would like to read the last, since we have 5 minutes left, just the last quote, because it is all about this. It says in paper 196 at the end, it says, Mark, Matthew, and Luke retain something of the picture of the human Jesus as he engaged in the superb struggle to ascertain the divine will and to do that will. John presents a picture of the triumphant Jesus as he walked on earth in the full consciousness of divinity. And then they say, the great mistake that has been made by those who have studied the Master's life is that some have conceived of him as entirely human, while others have thought of him as only divine. throughout his entire experience, Jesus was truly both human and divine, comma, even as he yet is. And that brings us right back, Nick, to the phrase where it said, Jesus is not only divine, but he's human as he yet is. And so he's our big brother. So when we have questions or problems or we need some advice, just retire somewhere in a quiet place and just pray or just stay silent and ask for guidance. And he's there. He's our big brother. He's not just over there. He's right here, and he's there with the spirit of truth within our heart and soul. And so
Beautiful.
it's a love story. What can we say?
It is
It's
beautiful,
the
beautifully
greatest
said.
love story.
Diane, again, thank you so much. You're I just love your personality. I love what you're thinking about and your constant contributions to spreading the word of the Urantia book. Thank you so much for your service. And so
And thank you,
for
Nick.
the Urantia book with Nick Curto, I want to wish you all a happy holiday season and an enlightened life's journey. Till next time, please explore the deep, cutting-edge wisdom and limitless love contained in the Urantia book. Stay safe and be very, very kind to one another. Much love to all our viewers and to everyone on this beautiful planet and beyond, well beyond. Till next time, good night and much love to all. Good night, everybody.
I send love too to every listener. Bye, Hercules.
Goodbye. Season's greetings to both of you, and Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year.
And to those who've tuned in, joyous journeys and amazing adventures. Till next time,
Yes.
this is Mount Olympus signing off.
Thank
Love
you.
to all.
Bye, Nick. Thank you for inviting me.